Not so much. No, I just don't accept that. The managing director of Waitrose could have stood here and given this same talk as I could. He is head-to-head with Tesco, okay? Through the recession, he's won huge share from Tesco. So head-on with the best retailer in the world, we have beaten them. If you look at the John Lewis picture, if you go anywhere in the country, it is a complete fallacy to say we are just operating as a luxury operator in a niche. We are head-to-head with Dixons. We're head-to-head with Argos. They are mid-market operators. And you get a slight, if I may say, you get a slight warped view in London. But the cities in which we trade, we are solidly the mid-market operator. And that's a really crucial point. So it's not a soft option, this is beating those ferocious competitors.
Thank you. I've got my left and yes, Don.
Don Williams, Councillor, London Borough of Camden. There are a few things which I'd just like to clarify about John Lewis Partnership. One is, how do all the partners get their voices heard? You said it's not a perfect democracy, but how do they get their input into the decision? And you said people who make errors as management get fired. Who they get fired from? Their line manager or from the partnership? Where is this accountability?
Okay, all right. Okay.
And I have another one to Mr. Qureshi, which is how do you reach out to the people who need your services? Because I unfortunately haven't heard about it before. But.
You can go first.
Well, because we are working very closely with the central government, the Home Office, with Metropolitan Police, with the local authorities, not only in London, but as I said, in Yorkshire. We have had some contact from Camden Channel for people through the Association of Chief Police Officers. We don't need to advertise our work, and we don't. We are approached and commissioned to carry out certain tasks, for example, in the European Union as well as in Pakistan now. So, I don't know. I mean, if you haven't heard, I can only apologize.
Yes.
Well, you've heard about it tonight.
Reference, yeah.
Okay, so it's not a perfect democracy, it's a representative democracy. So let me explain what I mean by that. A parliament, exactly. We call it a council, but we have a partnership parliament, where each shop votes for someone to go to that parliament. And I'm going to give you an example, just to address head-on the sceptics in the room who don't think this necessarily brings about better decisions. What's one of the most challenging subjects facing the government? Public sector pensions. Completely out of control. The government has got to deal with the retirement age. So how, in the John Lewis Parliament model, do we deal with that? What we did was we actually allowed our partners to decide, not through 70,000 people voting, but through their representatives voting, on whether or not we were going to reform the John Lewis Partnership Pension Scheme to change the retirement age from 60 to 65. And on the same day as Unison called a national strike over the issue about 4 years ago, the John Lewis Parliament voted unanimously to make that change. It was not in the interest of anybody in that room. They were all going to be poorer in retirement as a consequence or have to work longer. But they all realised it was in the long-term interest of their future colleagues to make that change. Decision taken through representative parliament in the interests, long-term interests of the organisation, not the short-term interests of the current employees.
And then the sacking.
The sacking, yeah. Now, I did not say, and you're putting words into my mouth, anyone who makes a mistake gets the sack. That would be incredibly short-sighted. But the way it happens is, again, the line manager does, like any other organisation, appraise people's performance, and if it's consistently poor after everything, they would go, just the same as any other organisation. But the crucial bit of the partnership is, I would say, that if I lost the confidence of my partners in the John Lewis division, that would be the reason that the chairman would definitely sack me. Not because the financial results weren't good, but because I wasn't actually, in the eyes of the partners, running the business for their long-term interests.
Yes.
Hi, Chris Wilford, London School of Economics. As a former average partner myself, I can say in no small part, like the sense of unassuming pride and shared responsibility was quite stimulated by the annual bonus. I'd just be interested to hear, or if you could repeat, are you attempting to replicate a bonus system in the NHS units in the Midlands?
Yeah. Where were you a partner, by the way?
I was a partner at Waitrose in Tunbridge.
Marvellous. Oh, that's great. Well, I'm very pleased that, well, there we are. I'm sure you were not an average partner. But you will know what I mean about the workforce in any retail organisation is wonderful people, but obviously not the most highly paid people in the economy, and it is a point we should just reflect on. Now, this is a very interesting question because obviously I would dearly like to see that happen, but one of the issues the government has to think through in these Pathfinder pieces is where the financial incentive can be injected. Now, the way I think this will happen is if the let's say the 20 people responsible for cleaning a ward in the City Hospital in Nottingham can demonstrate that they are doing it more efficiently as a small co-owned group than actually was previously done as part of a large monolith. Our advice to the government is that they need to share in that success. So there needs to be a way in which that benefit, which okay goes into the taxpayer's pocket, is also shared with them. So we're absolutely alive to the point you make.
Okay, I'd like to take 3 questions, and then Andy will take them one by one. So yes, 1, 2, 3. 1.
Right, Andy, 10 years ago I helped launch the Corporate Social Responsibility Index of Britain's top 100 companies. What's your take, and where do John Lewis stand on corporate social responsibility?
Yeah. What's number 2?
Brian Hoffman, London. Private equity, you need capital to go and cultivate a project. We'll go and ask, if you can't get money from the banks, which is very topical, we'll go and ask a shareholder. What do you do in that situation if you need to raise capital?
Yeah, great question.
Number 3? Sorry, you've already asked one. Sorry, I do apologise. Number 3, not different number 3. Yes.
How do you manage conflict at John Lewis?
Conflict.
Right. Isn't it?
If only.
Bringing the UN.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's do. Okay. Thank you. Capital. Very straightforward. And this is back to the better business model. We actually have to go to the markets. We don't have equity financing, and we certainly don't have private equity financing. So we either retain the money from our own profitability, or we go to the bond market. And we go to the bond market just as any other organisation has to. So we would have an implied credit rating, and we get a price on our bonds just like anybody else. And the interesting thing is, we've just raised about 3 months ago 300 million on the bond market, and we got the lowest rate or lowest cost of any organisation that has gone to the sterling bond market this year. So that is a huge endorsement for our model and our sustainability, because it was a 15-year bond. So it wasn't a short-term bit, 15-year bond, lowest price that anybody's got. A huge endorsement of our model.
What was the interest?
What was the interest? Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, I can't. What was the interest?
How much tax leverage was?
No, I'm not going to tell you that. Certainly not. But anyone who wants to check it up can go and look. It's all online, and any merchant banker will tell you that our rate was the lowest.